Great. So we are standing at session 8. So what we did or discussed in the last session. So we discussed about the versions with respect to EBS 11A and R12 and the releases with respect to Fusion applications. Also, we discussed about every quarter Oracle releases patches, how you can understand the current instance is working based on the which latest patch application. Along with that, we discussed and we tested in the system how to create implementation project and how system creates task list and tasks within that. What does it mean by task list? What is the meaning of task? We discussed. Along with that, also we discussed how to update the status for the entire project or offering level or option level at task list or specific task level. We discussed how to do the assignments, so various levels, these points we discussed. And also we tested how we can perform the setup at project level and FSM level and global search page. We will understand more deeper about these three levels once we start working on the setups. Now just be aware what are the different options are available for us. Options means the scope to perform the setups. So that we are trying to understand. And creating implementation project is not mandatory. Yes, we discussed the same point. And without creating implementation project, we can perform the setups. Now, if you want to do the setups within the instance or say within the environment, why we have to do the setups? There should be strong reason to do the setups. So let's talk about those reasons. Why we have to perform the setups? So Oracle is providing the cloud instance. Within that, Oracle is providing standard applications. The applications what we are talking all the time, those applications we call as standard applications. Oracle delivered applications, payables, receivables, cash management, fixed assets, general ledger, expense, tax. These all applications are standard. What Oracle is providing, those are standard. So those are not created by us. If those applications are created by us, we call as custom applications. Remember the term. We call as custom applications. Those are standard applications. Also, we discussed when we talk about roles, we discussed the roles what Oracle is providing. Those roles we call as standard or seeded or Oracle delivered roles. And we can create the roles. Those roles we call as custom roles. The terminology is very, very important. The terminology is very, very important. What we are discussing, the same you have to copy and you have to use when you speak. Before that, you have to write and you have to read and you should be able to memorize. Very, very important. Now, so let's get into today's agenda. Yes, we are interested to do few setups in the system, but what is the reason behind it? What is the reason behind it? Why companies are going to use Oracle Fusion applications? It could be finance, or it could be SCM, it could be HCM, or it could be PPM or procurement for the matter. Why they want to use the systems? The very beginning, it could be second session, we discussed they want to produce the reports. If you talk about financials, they want to prepare financial reports. If they want to prepare the financial reports, first they have to capture, finance related transactions data in the system. If you want to capture finance related transactions, since our focus is finance, I am taking the example related to finance. It could be any transaction. It could be supply chain related transaction. It could be HCM related payroll transaction. It could be project related costing or billing transaction. Doesn't matter. So any transaction, any business related transactions are business core or relevant. It could be anything. Let's take it as any business related transaction. Any business related transactions, if you want to capture within the Fusion application, that there are certain data elements. There is certain data which we have to capture into the system to make the transaction more meaningful. If you are doing something, it should make sense. If you are recording something in the system, that should make sense. Otherwise, later you cannot make use of it. Now, what makes sense when you record something within the system environment with respect to finance or any other applications? So you are doing some activity. You are doing some activity in your business. You are doing activity in the business. Primarily, what activities we can do? One could be we purchase. Other activity could be making payment for the same. These are the two activities. You are purchasing something and you are making the payment against the purchase. Other activities could be you are selling and you are collecting payment. Here you are making the payment, you are collecting the payment. You are buying something, you are selling something. These are the different activities with respect to finance. These are core activities. Any activity you record in the system, that should be eligible to create the report. That activity should have the minimum data where you can utilize that information in the future or immediately to prepare the reports. Ultimately, that activity should support for reporting purpose. That means it should fulfill reporting requirements. If you are doing any business related activities, that activity should fulfill reporting requirements of the company. That means you are doing something, later you should be able to produce the report based on that activity data, what you are going to record in the system. If you want to produce the reports, if you want to generate the reports, you have to maintain the data very systematically with more segregated manner. If you look at any typical business transaction, what data we should capture as mandatory? What data we should capture mandatory? So when you are going to generate the reports, always there will be a question when we did something, whatever it may be the activity, buying, selling, receiving the payment, making the payment, when it took place, there will be one big question. And another big question is what exactly we did. Yes, when we did something. When you prepare the reports, it's all about past. Whatever happened, that we are going to take into report. When we did something, it could be any activity, what exactly we did. Okay, you have information when you did and what exactly we did, and how much worth of the activity that is, how much worth of the transaction you did. It could be any transaction, paying or receiving or selling or buying. What is the worth? What is the value? Means how much. So these three data points are very, very important. When we talk about when, we are talking about date, means time. We are talking about time. So let's take it as a date. When we say date, yes, definitely the transaction should belongs to specific date. And again, the date should belongs to specific period, month. The period is part of always year. That's how always we have alignment when we talk about date. On which date, the date is belongs to which month, the month is belongs to which year. When you look at the date, that would be pretty much clear for us. The date format always so includes month and year also. And what we did, we are talking about activity. Okay, activity. We are talking about what activity we did. Purchased or sold, received payment or paid payment, or it could be some other activity. How much? We are talking about transaction value, means we are talking about money. We are talking about money. So it's very, very important. These three elements we have to capture in each and every transaction. And it is very important task for us to understand how companies are expecting to capture these details, or else how they have been capturing this sort of information in their current systems. So this all they capture based on their reporting requirements. To fulfill the reporting requirements, they have to capture these details: when, what, how much. So let's go one by one. When we talk about in every transaction capturing the date, when we talk about capturing the date in each and every transaction, we have to keep all the dates ready within our instance. By default, Oracle is not offering all the dates for us. They are not giving the date, they are not giving the period, they are not giving the year. They are not creating something for us. Why they are not creating, we will understand soon. So if you want to capture the date, exact date, whenever you record the transaction in the system, when you say whenever you have to record the transaction, we are referring the business. We always talk about the business. As a consultant, we always talk about the business. So whenever you want to record the transaction, yes, you have to capture the date. If you want to capture the date, how to capture the date within our Fusion applications? If you want to capture the date, we need to create the complete dates, which includes months and or period. You can call as month or period. The period type could be month or week or year, whatever. So we have to maintain in the system. Again, that should have a proper format. To capture the dates in the system, we need to create calendar. We need to create the calendar. Say we are going to implement for one client, and whenever they record the transactions, yes, they have to capture the date. If they want to capture the date, we have to facilitate the calendar in the system. The point is very simple. Oracle is not going to create any calendars. Oracle is not going to provide any predefined calendars, or Oracle is not going to provide any seeded calendars. If you look at fresh instance, you don't see any calendar. But if you look at the instance what we are using for our practice, you can find many calendars. Those all calendars are created for practice purpose. There are few calendars Oracle is providing for sample purpose. Since the instance is vision, if you look at client instance, when you are part of implementation project, you don't find any sample calendars within the instance. Now, I'm a consultant. Now my task is I have to create calendar. Remember, we create calendar as a consultant. Client is not going to create any calendar. Who is performing which task is very important. Most of the points what we are going to discuss, those all are performed by us. Whatever client is going to perform, that time definitely I'll be highlighting. Okay, I will talk about it. If I'm not talking about this task will be done by client, that means by default you have to understand that is done by us. Make a note of that point and apply everywhere. Now, as a consultant, I should create the calendar in the system so that whenever they record the transactions, they'll be able to capture the date with the respective format. Now, what are the points I should take into consideration when I create the calendar in the system? The very first point is we should understand about the country financial year. The country financial year. We should understand about country financial year. That is a key for us to create the calendar. Once you understand about the country financial year, we have to take the decision on period type. We have to take the decision on period type. Say the country financial year, you are implementing Oracle Fusion applications for one of the client who is based out in USA. Now we should know what is the financial year in US. So in US, the financial year from Jan to December. The financial year is Jan to December. If you talk about India, financial year is April to March. In few other countries, the financial year could be totally different. In some country, financial year may be July to June. In few countries, financial year could be December to November. Doesn't matter. Just we should understand what is a financial year in that country. So what is a financial year in that country? We have to understand. Based on the financial year, we are going to create the calendar in our system. If financial year is Jan to December, yes, we create the calendar in the system by starting with the Jan and we end with a December month. Second point, the period type. When we talk about period type, the standard period type is monthly, but the day also you can treat as a period type. Week you can treat as a period type. The bio month you can treat as a period type. The quarter you can treat as a period type. The year also you can treat as a period type, and you may do the further segregation that also you can call as period type. The typical period type is monthly. When you create calendar, we create monthly only. We create monthly. So these are the two key points we have to understand when you create the calendar. So we are talking about calendar. As per system, the calendar, what we create, the name Oracle given as accounting calendar. The given name as accounting calendar. Why we are calling as accounting calendar? Within the calendar, what we have a dates. With the help of those dates, we can create the accounting also for the same transaction in the system. When you create accounting, then only you can prepare the reports. Then only you can produce the financial reports. So we will understand what does it mean by accounting. Now, from your side, if you are not aware of what does it mean by accounting, ignore it. We will learn about accounting. What is accounting? How it looks like. These points we are going to exercise. If you are not aware what does it mean by accounting, ignore it. Ignore it. The calendar, what we create in the system, that we are calling as accounting calendar. Why we are calling as a calendar? It's all about time. It's all about time. So it indicates about the time, since we are going to capture the time, and by with the help of the time, with the help of the dates, we are going to capture accounting also. That is the reason the name Oracle given as accounting calendar. For now, simple point you can take as calendar or take it as accounting calendar. Now, if I'm going to create the calendar, let's take example, we are going to implement for one of US client. Then our target would be accounting calendar will create Jan to December. The typical period type which we use all the time is monthly. That means we create 12 periods. When period type is monthly, 12 periods. If period type is daily, 365 days. If period type is quarterly, 4. So whatever the period type you are using, accordingly we have to create number of periods. Now we are taking the case as period type is monthly, 12 we have to create. But in our system, there is a provision, there is a facility to create more than 12 periods, even it is monthly. When period type is monthly, we are very sure 12 periods we can have in the year. But as per our system, there is a provision to create more than 12. Say what I'm going to do is, I want to create one more period. 12 periods are standard periods, and I want to create one more period. What does it mean? I'm going to create additional period. I'm going to create additional period. Why we create additional periods? Just try to understand the purpose. Slowly we'll get into that. In general, end of the financial year, if you take example of US financial year, end of December, when you are moving to next year, you close the books in the December, we will move to new financial year. When we are closing the books, if any adjustments, any provisions, if you want to do any adjustments, yes, you can do in the December month. You have certain things which are not clear to finalize the things, or there should be some adjustments. Definitely you have to record the end of the financial year. Such kind of entries, such kind of temporary entries, if you want to pass, yes, you can pass within the December month itself. But if business wants to track such kind of entries, adjustment kind of entries, we will understand what are those adjustment entries. You now don't try to figure out those, not required. Just be aware with the terminology. That's it. Now we are not recording the transactions to understand what are the adjustment transactions. Just what is the purpose, be aware, we will come across. If they want to pass adjustment entries at the end of the financial year, they can use December month, last month. But if they are not interested to capture adjustment entries end of the financial year within the last period, they can have separate period. For that, we should create one additional period. The additional period purpose is to pass adjustment entries. The additional period purpose is to pass adjustment entries. Since we are creating additional period for adjustment purpose, that period we can call as adjustment period. It means we have to understand we can create more than standard periods within the calendar. If you are creating calendar with monthly, standard periods are 12, and we can create more than 12. More than 12. How many additional periods we can create? That we will see in the system. When we create the calendar, we will see how many additional periods we can create. Typically, most of the implementations, we create one additional period end of the financial year. We recommend to the client because client doesn't know what works, what it doesn't work within our applications. We know very well what works and what purpose Oracle is offering something. As a client, as a consultant, we should recommend to the client if they want to have adjustment periods within their calendar so that they can say yes or no to that. It's all client decision. We are not going to take any decisions. As a consultant, we are into advisory. So once you complete this program, you learn about this program, you will be standing in front of the people who doesn't know about this program. Then you will start acting as an advisor. You will become an advisor to client. Where a consultant means you are going to play advisory role. You tell them how to use it, what is a good, how they can make use of it in the better way. These all directions, these all inputs you have to provide to the client. You may advise, you may recommend something good. Client may not accept. If you are lucky enough as a consultant, whatever you advise, client may accept. Sometimes you meet client where they don't accept even you recommend something good. Finally, we have to close the deal with their acceptance, what they need. You may recommend something as a best practice. They may not find it as interesting. So always we recommend something, they says yes or no. Sometimes, yes, we should try to convince them because our target is they should get more benefit out of this product. That is the reason we try to convince the client so that they can get more benefit out of it. Some clients may go wrong with their decisions, but we have to advise. Finally, we have to accept. So these are the points we have to understand when we talk about advising something to the client. Yep. Now, we'll get into the system and we'll see how to create the accounting calendar. Before we jump into the system, if you have any questions from your side, please unmute and raise. When you unmute and raise your questions, please take care of your background environment. It's a big request. It's a big request. We are recording these sessions. I don't want to record something else also. It's very clear from my side, from your side. Please, it's a request. If you are not in the right environment, just move to right environment, ask your questions. Otherwise, you can park your questions and we can discuss in the end of the session. That is a request. Now, please go ahead with your question.
Hi, Lakshman Shashi this side. So the adjustment period, right? Wanted to understand for
Don't
this.
mind, don't mind, don't take in other way. Just my request is same. Your name is not important. My name also not important. Question is important.
Right.
Yes, it became our practice, right? Every time wherever we speak, right? That is the reason we use the name by default.
Yeah.
So I do understand and respect. Let's eliminate it in
Sure.
our sessions, please.
Sure. Sure.
Please.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the adjustment period, right? So when we say adjustment period, as you know, I mean, to perform some adjustment entries. So is it like, when we say for the US, it is January to December. So in the month of December itself, we will create this adjustment period. Is the understanding right?
We create adjustment period as separate period, but what dates we can take into adjustment period? We use December dates into adjustment period.
Okay.
Yeah, we create adjustment period by using the December dates, but the period name would be adjustment period.
Okay. Okay. So it will be the same month, but it's a called the adjustment period that month.
Correct. It's
Oh,
not like same month,
okay.
because when you create adjustment period, we generally don't create adjustment period by taking entire December dates. We may create adjustment period by taking only one date, that is December 31st. Adjustment period start date and end date could be 31st December to 31st December. Or else you may use adjustment period with last week of December. But when we look at December month, yes, 1st December to 31st December. When you look at adjustment period, only one day or 1 week.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
That's how it is.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lakshman.
Yeah. Great question. Thank you. Next question, please. Think through. If you want to become a consultant, you have to think. If you are listening, you will become end user. Very, very important.
Sir, I have a question. Like if we do the adjustment period, is that we are adjusting only the things which happened in during the transition period, or it's from anywhere in the financial year?
Max, whatever we record in the system, it's all about past transactions. What already happened. We record something in the system related to budget and forecasting, it is related to future. The real business transactions, whatever you record in the system, max, it's all about past, which already occurred.
No,
No,
that
I'm
wasn't my
no, I'm
question.
coming to your
Okay. Okay.
the dot.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
just 1 second, 1 second. Now, when we talk about adjustment periods, we record adjustment transactions. Those we record based on the reference of the past transactions only. Okay, the reference of past transactions. Say you procured something, you purchased something, but you not yet received invoice from the supplier. When you receive the invoice from the supplier, you record that invoice in the system, then you can understand how much amount you are liable to pay to the supplier. When you generate the reports, then you can understand how much payment is pending from your end. But unfortunately, you not yet received invoice, but you received goods. You received goods from supplier, but as per your system, that is not recorded as that is your liability. You have to pay whatever you have to pay to your supplier. That is our liability. So, but you are going to prepare the reports. Say whatever you purchase, the worth is 1 CR. 1 CR worth of material you received, goods you received, but as per your reports, there is no 1 CR liability. You will be getting into wrong assumptions. Reality you are liable, but that is not represented in your books. Reason, there is a delay in receiving invoice from your supplier. Such kind of examples or many other examples you can take, those all you will record in the adjustment period for a temporary purpose as a kind of adjustments and provisions. This is the example you can take. We'll talk about few other examples also. When we are really going to record the transactions, we will record the adjustments. We will talk about it, how to pass. We will see those.
Um,
1 second, 1 second.
sure.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense to you?
Yeah, but my question was like, we are doing something for the entire financial year, right? So my question is that adjustment period, we take as at least 1 day or 1 week time as adjustment period, but what are the adjustments for the entire, the last 1 year's adjustments we can make it in that period of time, or only for the month of December we can do?
No, no. Those all related to the entire financial year. You are closing the books. You have to settle the things and you should draw the
Okay.
conclusions. Close to reality.
Okay.
Close to reality.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So adjustment periods will depend on the period type that we select. Like let's say if I select a period type as monthly, we get 1 month of adjustment period. Like let's say if we select the period type as daily, we get 1 adjustment period.
When we go with a monthly, we know how month span across, right? How Feb span across, how December span across, how March or other months span across. Since those are real periods, clearly defined. When we talk about adjustment period, there is no real identity for the adjustment period. We are creating it, right? We are creating it. How you want, you can create accordingly. If it is monthly, if it is John, you should maintain 1st to 31st. If it is a March, 1st to 31st. If it is April, 1st to 30th. But adjustment period, you are the creator. So you no need to follow any rule. If you want to follow entire December, yes, follow entire December, or else you can have only 1 day, 31st to 31st, or else
Got it. Yeah.
25th to maybe 31st. That's our choice, business
So
choice.
whatever periods, okay. So whatever periods are left, I mean, what are the adjustable financial statements we can do in that dates? We can select them, right?
Financial statements, not adjustment entries. Those are not statements. Those are not
Oh,
entire statements altogether, right? Just
oh,
few entries, few confusions, few unsettled things. Okay, those you may get clarity about those in future, but temporarily you are just recording as a, so how you can draw the conclusions accordingly, you are writing in the system. That's it.
okay.
Yeah.
Sir,
Uh,
one more question I have.
Yeah.
That is, are we doing the additional period at the end of the year, or anytime we can do this? We can create this, or
Good question.
do,
When we talk about adjustment periods, in general, we create adjustment periods in end of the financial year, end of the financial year. But in the system, we have a provision to create as you require. If you look at 10 implementations, you come across adjustment period in the end of the financial year. I have seen one client who has 400 entities 400 entities. Very big client. Very big client. What they did is they had adjustment period every quarter. Every quarter. Every 3 months, one adjustment period. Because the large volume of the transactions, huge number of entities, they are operating business in many countries, but still you don't need to have those many adjustment periods. Quarterly is not a best practice, not required. So year end is best practice. Most of the clients, if you work for 100 clients, for our understanding, I'm taking count as 100. We never work for 100 clients, no scope. If you work for 100 clients, you may come across 1-2 clients who may pick quarterly adjustment periods. Most of the clients will go with year-end adjustment period. So this is what we have to understand. Some clients may opt for 2 adjustment periods. Maybe one in the beginning, one in the ending, or one may be in the middle, one may be in the ending. These all we will understand. Why I didn't discuss with you these points, we are going to experience those when we create the calendar. Okay, few things I may park, reason anyway we are going to come across. Without showing those options, if I'm trying to explain and you are trying to understand, it will become tough task. That is the reason few things I may park to see when those are really required. Hope you got your answer.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I have a question. Sorry, can I go ahead?
Please.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So the thing is, it's about the period closing activity, Lakshman. So when we do an adjustment period, can we still perform the closure and open the next period, or do we need to complete the step for the adjustment period and then proceed with the period opening activity?
See. Okay. You are one step ahead.
Oh,
Okay. Still we'll discuss. Because when you go one step ahead, again, I have to start from the scratch. Even that is not current topic.
okay.
No,
Sorry.
no issues. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Sure.
Every business, what they do is every end of the period, say every end of the month, they close the books. They close the books and they'll open the next period. Say now we are in the April month. So April month business should open in our system. When you say calendar, within the calendar, we have a dates. When you say dates, date is belongs to specific period. We are talking about months. When you enter into April month, the April month period you have to open in our system. Then only you can record the transactions. When we are moving to May month, we should close April month and we should open May month. If you don't close April month before we enter into May month, what is the challenge? You are not finalizing the things which you did within that month. If you don't close April month, the period status would be open, so that there are chances where business users or say accountants may enter transactions. Okay, I'm not talking about the month May. Okay, they may enter the transactions in April month, since the period is open, even the current month is May. So to restrict the business not to enter the transactions in the previous months, always we close previous periods and we keep only current period is open. Reason, we are only doing the business in the current month. We cannot do the business in the past periods by standing in the current month. So that is the reason always we open the current period. When we move to the next period, we close the current period and will open the next period. So to understand this story, how reality it works, say we are end of March. Let's take this example. Okay, it's very important. It's very important. I can call it as a nice question. So say we are in the end of the March. End of the March. End of the March. Now, say today is 31st March. Can I close 31st March? Yes, we should close, but reality it is not possible. The reason, across the different departments, your payables department, your receivables department, your asset department, your warehouse department, your procurement department, your sales department, your projects, the various department should work with a great coordination, and there'll be many things which they need to be finalized. There'll be many things which they need to be finalized. Then only we can close the periods. When we are into the project, once implementation is done, the client will start using the system. Once implementation is done, client will start using the system. When client is going to use the system, then this task will come in the play. They enter the transactions in 1 month. End of the month, the period need to be closed. Next month we have to open, and again they'll start entering the transactions. This is how the cycle will keep running. And the question is, who is responsible to open and close the periods? In few projects, yes, we are responsible as a consultant. If you are in the support project, as a support consultant, we are responsible. We have to close period, current period, and we have to open the next period. Again, it is not that much simple as we are discussing. Closing current period and opening the next period, it is not that much easy. So when we get into that time frame, we will understand that. Okay, we will see like how to close. If you want to close, how much easy, how much difficult, we will exercise this, then you will understand. Okay, so here our focus is when really we are going to close the period. Today is March 31st. Let's take that example. Can we close the March period on March 31st? Impossible. The coordination is required across the departments, means each department we have separate application. So typically, if you look at the real projects, support projects, in every project, we close the periods maybe within 2 days after end of the period. Say 31st March, period ended. We should close, but we cannot close. Lot of coordination, many transactions we have to look after, many issues will be in the system. We have to finalize the things. There could be a number of transactions which are pending to enter in the system, right? We arrived month end, but that month related many transactions may be pending with the business. They have to record, they have to draw the conclusions, they have to finalize the things. That is the reason it takes time. In some projects, it takes 2 days time. In some projects, 3 days, 4 days, 1 week also. For big clients, it may take 10 days also. But what about next period? You may close, may not close. You cannot stop the time. If it is April 1st, yes, you are in the business. On the April 1st, what you are doing, you should record in the April month. That is the reason what we do is, you may not close the March period. Since you entered into April period, we need to open April period. Remember this. Don't think after closing only March month, we open the April month. No, it is impossible task. If business is very small, all the time they are fine tuning each and everything what they are doing, or every day they are treating as month end, means that with that much accuracy, with that refined manner they are using the system, exactly they may close on month end, last day of the month itself. It's very, very rare. Generally, we don't see anywhere. Possible, that is also possible, but the reality it is not possible. So this is a real practice. May takes 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, or 10 days. But till the time you cannot stop the status of next period, means the current period. Right? You entered into April, you should open the April period. Same time March period also open. And we should try to close March period as soon as possible. So this is a part of like period close activity that we call as period close, period end activities. We will learn in our classes. Okay, we will learn in our classes how it works as a consultant, what we have to do. And we discuss two cases. One is in support project. If we are in the support project, so we no need to, it depends. If client is taking the responsibility of closing the periods, let them close. When they are closing the period, they will have some challenges with respect to the transaction. Certain transactions doesn't allow us to close the period. Those we have to resolve. Yes, as a consultant, we can resolve. We know what behaves how. After learning, we will understand those. Okay, when we are learning, once you complete the learning, during the learning, yes, we are going to understand all those points. If it's our responsibility of closing the periods, but business will involve. Without business involvement, we cannot close. They do their part, we do our part. Whose responsibility also matter. Finally, ultimately, it may be client responsibility or our responsibility, and we have to perform our task, that is always helping to the business to clear the issues. Okay, don't worry by looking at the term called as issue. When you learn properly, there won't be an issue. It may appear as issue, but it won't stay for a longer period in front of you. If you don't learn properly, even small issue will become big issue. If you learn properly, big issue also very small issue for us. How much you are learning is matter. How much you are learning is matter. That's very, very important. So this is what you have to understand. Every month end we have to close the period. Reality, it doesn't work. May takes 3 days, 4 days, or 1 week, or for very big clients, it may take 10 days time also. Till the time, we cannot stop the business not to enter the transaction, the system. That is the reason the moment you enter into next period, first day, we open the period, and the previous period also will remain open. We'll try to close the period as soon as possible, so that you will be able to generate the reports and you will be able to settle the things which occurred in that period. Now you can ask your questions based on this story.
So is it safe to say that adjustment period is just a period to make your financial statement more accurate?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If you are not closing, it's a mess, right? So you don't know the picture, what really happened, right? Say you came to some conclusion, but since period is open, some accountant may recall, hey, this transaction belongs to so and so period. I'm lucky, this period is still open. They'll go and enter. But already you draw the conclusions, you generated reports. Once you finalize something, somebody is entering into that period and they're recording the transaction, and what is recorded in that period, what reports are generated, now those all will become wrong, right? You are not
Yes.
freezing. You are not freezing. So that is the reason we have to close it. Remember, the users who are going to work on the system from the client side, we call them as end users, business users, or accountants. They will not have any access to this function of opening or closing the periods. From the client side, who are at manager level or the higher management side. Higher management means it's maybe finance head, other levels, or sometimes very senior accountants in the company. For these guys only will have access to this opening period and the closing period function. And as a consultant, yes, we can have access. We generally have access to this. So that is the reason the business users cannot play with this opening and closing. If it is closed by us, it is closed for them. If it is open by us, it is open for them. So the control will be with consultant or the key members from the client side. Questions, please.
So Lakshman, this
One more.
adjustment. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Please.
Yeah. So Lakshman, so this adjustment period is for like all the modules, right? So like it is applicable for all the modules, APAR, FAGL, CM.
Yes. See, it is part of calendar. It is part of calendar. Calendar you are going to use across the applications. But reality, we don't pass adjustment entries in the applications where we do the real transactions. We use this adjustment period in GL application. There we prepare the financial reports. There only we pass the adjustment entries. We don't pass adjustment entries primarily in the other applications. That is a note.
Okay, but is it possible to pass those entries in other modules?
Yes,
Okay.
but we should not. See, many things are possible to do, but we should know what to do, what not to do. We'll get opportunity to do many wrong things also. The same way, here also you will get opportunity, but we should be mindful what to do, what not to do. Okay, next question, please.
Another question from me is, are clients the one who decide how to manage it, manage the adjustment period? Like,
No,
did you understand?
see,
Uh-huh.
we give a hint. Okay, we give a hint saying that, hey, if you want to track your adjustment entries with a separate period, yes, we have a provision. What do you say about it? Some client says, no, we don't need it. Now we are a consultant. What do we do? What do we do is, it's a one-time decision. Now you may think not required, but in future you may think it is required. If you don't take decision now, if you don't take decision as it's required now, for your future also, in the future, if you are expecting adjustment period, it is not possible. So calendar creation is one time task. If you don't include the adjustment period when we create calendar as a consultant, in future if they need adjustment period, that we cannot add. So you may not think it is required now, still it is recommended to that have at least one adjustment period. You may not use it in future in the long run of the company. When you are going to continue the Oracle applications, you may come across better we can have adjustment period. You may think through in that way. That time at least it will be useful, and it won't create any inconvenience if you are going to have one additional adjustment period. Anyway, you are not going to use. Whenever you want to use, yes, it would be available. If it is not there in your accounting calendar, in future, if you want to use, it is not possible to add into accounting calendar. In between, you cannot add. So these points we discuss with our clients. We always recommend.
Okay.
We always recommend. There is a provision. First, we'll say there is a provision. If they say so, okay, we no need to convince and we no need to give advice. If they are not saying okay, then we have to advise. Better you can have at least one. You may use in the future. You may use in the future. That's how we advise. Okay. Next question, please.
Another question,
Yes.
is
Yes.
everything one-time task, or we can, is there any editable task, like in the future if something happens, we can do, or?
See, as a consultant, we do many setups in the system. As a consultant, we do many setups in the system. Few setups are one time. Few setups are one time. Okay, few setups are one time. Many setups later you can modify. Many setups are later you can modify. So this is a point you have to understand. And what kind of setups are one time, which are very, very core setups, which are very, very core setups. So those setups are one time. Later, if you disturb those setups, everything will be collapsed. Okay, everything will be collapsed. So that is reason Oracle made few setups are one time. Reason, based on those setups, you do many things in the system. If you change here, those all need to be adjusted, updated, and it may not work also. So that is the reason they made the setups which are sensitive as a one-time setup. The setups which are not sensitive, so those they are allowing to modify. When you talk about calendar, this is sensitive setup, because once you create the calendar, we are going to use it left and right in all the applications. Take any application, wherever you record the transaction, we use it. And we generate the reports by using accounting calendar. Within that, we have a dates, periods, years, and everything we have. So that is the reason you should not change. That is the reason Oracle is not allowing us to modify the accounting calendar. If you can modify what you can modify, we will see that. That is not a big, kind of game. It's a simple things which won't reflect anywhere. It's kind of display purpose. You may change something, but the core is core that you cannot modify. Simple example. You created your accounting calendar with monthly. Now you want to switch to quarterly. Not possible. Any other questions, please?
Can we keep adjustment period open throughout the year, or it should be like at the time of when like for 31st December, when December approaches, then we can only open the adjustment period.
We never open periods in advance. First point. If we are in April month, open only April month. There is no need of opening future periods. There is no good reason to keep open past periods. Always close past periods. Always keep current period open. Don't open future periods. This is a formula.
Same goes for adjustment periods.
Anything. See, we are in the April. What is the use of adjustment period, which is in the end of the year now? Right? When we are at the end of the year, if you want to record adjustment entries, use adjustment period. You may have adjustment period, you may not use it. You may pass adjustment entries within the December month only. Why you have, you may need in the future. That's how it is. Got
Okay,
it?
got your point. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Next question, please.
Sorry, I have one more question.
Yep.
Are we going to discuss the list of items which we can do one-time setups, or the items which we can do multiple modify in future?
Yes, on the go you will understand. On the
Oh,
go you will
okay.
understand, because we are going to do everything, right? So when we do everything, there you will experience. Even we discuss, I emphasize those points. I highlight, we discuss those.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? And one point here before I take your question. The people who are feeling bored, that is not correct. Here it's very, very important. Understanding how to create accounting calendar is not a big play. Understanding the stuff around it is very, very important. Today, simply you may learn how to create accounting calendar. Tomorrow, you will face many questions when you are in the work environment. So the questions what people are asking, please respect. If you can ask, you ask if it makes sense. So very important. The point is, please love the questions. You will become powerful. Okay. If you hate the questions, people will hate you tomorrow. Remember, people will hate you. So please think through. Clearly, I'm telling, it's not like you are not here to listen to whatever I speak. You are here to ask questions more than what I speak. Then you can learn and you can build the muscle of consultant. So if you claim you are a consultant, you should have a habit of asking questions. Okay, then only will become consultant. Otherwise, will become dummy consultant. So very, very important. So you should ask the questions. Again, when you are asking, ask valid questions. That's very, very important. I don't see any invalid questions so far from anybody. But anyway, think through and ask valid questions all the time. If you are not asking the questions, you are not learning. You might be learning, less you are learning. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry, again, I have one more question. That is, yeah, you explained like we can do monthly adjustment periods and all.
One second, one second.
Yeah. Mhm.
No, I never explained we can have monthly adjustment periods.
No, just for 1 in 100 of companies or something.
That also I didn't speak. I took the
Quarterly.
example quarterly.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, in that case also, my question is like, if it's a quarterly one, and if we are going with the India financial year, and we open one at the
No,
end
one
of
point,
March.
one
Huh?
point.
Okay.
See, exceptional cases, try to understand as exception cases are there. But let's not entertain the exceptional cases more and more. Let's focus on the standard best practice. No. I'm
Sorry,
not
sir.
talking about your question. You
Okay.
can, you are free to ask the question.
No,
I'm telling you.
I didn't complete my question.
No.
My question is like,
Not your question. Please don't mind. Just I'm trying to give you one point, not based on your question. Okay, I respect any question, but just always I'm trying to give some hints. That's all. Ask questions, no worries. Just I'm telling. So exceptional cases, okay, no need to go deeper and deeper. Okay, keep exceptional. Just if something is exceptional, so understand, yes, these kind of exceptions could be there. Try to understand, make a note, but you no need to go deeper and deeper about exceptions. What is the reality? What is the possibility? What is the best practice? What generally takes place when we are working with the client? There we can have hell number of questions. So that is all about all we can say we are utilizing the time. But if you are getting into very exceptional cases, so not required. Okay, just make a note and accordingly we can align our questions. Yeah, now you can go ahead. Don't mind. See, if I am talking something, don't think I'm talking about your question, please. Yeah, please.
Okay. Actually, I want to finish my question. Like my question is, I was just taking the example of quarterly one because if one is open and the until the next quarter end, and is there any particular time we have to close the first one and open the next one?
What do
Or
you mean by first one?
first one means the first quarter
No. Right
for
once.
adjustment.
1 second. See,
Okay.
quarterly once they will have means not for entire quarter. Within the quarter, they will have 3 periods. Take example, current quarter. Okay, or else take previous quarter. Jan, Feb, and March is 1 quarter. End of the March, after March, they will have one adjustment period. But remember, they close Jan month the moment they enter into Feb as soon as possible. I'm taking the term as a movement, means it takes some time for them. So when they enter into Feb, within 2 days, 3 days, or 1 week, they close Jan. When they move from Feb to March, they close Feb, then they focus on March month. So this is how it would be. So when you say like quarterly once they have adjustment periods, they will have adjustment period in this example after March. So think they already closed Jan, they entered into Feb, and Feb they closed, they are in the March month. Now they are in the March month when they are going to enter into April. They close March, they close if they have adjustment entries, even they don't have adjustment entries within the adjustment period, they close adjustment period, then they will open March month. And already we discussed, when you say they close, they open, what is the reality also we discussed. Reality, they don't close. Before they close, they open, then they'll start working on the previous period and they close as soon as possible. This is what we have to understand. Now you can just ask based on this.
Yeah. Thank you. Now I understood.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question, please. Okay, no questions. Now calendar became very powerful for us. Yeah. Now we'll see in the system. Okay, now we'll see in the system how to create the accounting calendar. Okay. So call as a accounting calendar. Don't call it as just plain calendar. So we are learning financials. So accounting term we have to use. Right. So I'm using the same instance and same user. Right. The same user we created in our previous session or prior sessions. So our target is create accounting calendar. And we discussed based on what criteria we create accounting calendar. We discussed the criteria is country finance year. That's it. Based on country finance year. Fine. Now to create accounting calendar, what is the navigation? Please capture each and every point. So if we are discussing something that is useful, you should capture. You have to read it. Then you should be able to apply or use wherever it is required. If you are understanding, no use. You feel you are understanding now, later it won't be with you. Click on username. Click on setup and maintenance task. Just let me zoom in. Let me write here. The task is we are going to create accounting calendar. And another important point. So what we are discussing and what we are doing, please focus on that only. You no need to see around what we are doing. Okay, not required. Focus on what we are doing. That is enough. Fine. Now we are in FSM homepage. This we can call as FSM homepage. We can do the setups from project. We can do the setup from FSM homepage. This is the current page we are on. And we can do the setups from global search. Let's do the setups from FSM homepage. From here, I want to create accounting calendar. So already financials are in scope selection here as a setup, already financials selected. So whenever you come to this page, make sure financials are selected. Okay, by clicking on drop down, you can choose financials. Now, the task name is accounting calendar. Remember, 99% tasks starts with prefix called as manage term. Manage. The task name would be manage accounting calendar. Manage accounting calendars. This is the task name. This is the complete task name. But this manage, the string, the word is not required. You don't need to type. Even if you type accounting calendars or whatever, however they are giving exact task name, they may give us accounting calendar or accounting calendars. Once we experience, we can catch it. So whatever the name they are giving, that directly you can type and you can find the task. It is not mandatory. You have to give the entire task name, not required. Entire task name is not required. Now I'm searching for accounting calendars. If it is available, if this string is available within this financials, system will fetch it. Just click on search. So it is fetching. So accounting calendars here. Accounting calendars. So now click on accounting calendars task. So you can, even we are a functional consultants. For fun, you can write the coding also. How? I'll tell you. Accounting is ending with ing or it is ending with G. The calendars starting with the C letter or else it is starting with the CAL, 3 letters if you take. Now I want to make a fun. I don't want to type everything. I want to be very smart. If it works, it works. Yes, it should work. So what I want to do is accounting is ending with G, calendars starting with the C. If I use these 2 letters, if these 2 letters are matching with many tasks where one word is ending with G, next word is starting with C, those all task system will display. In that case, I will use ing space CAL. Then system can fetch only accounting calendar task. Now we'll just remember this. It is ending with G. It is starting with C. Now it will look for that match. Now let me refresh instead of trying here itself. Yes, we can go ahead, but let me refresh. So same page we are in. We need task called as accounting calendar. Accounting calendar. Ending letter and starting letter. Let's see what happens. So it is fetching all the tasks which are starting, which are ending with a word letter called as G and the starting letter called as C. Yes, our task is here. So even you are a functional consultant, this is how you can go with the fun to write. So coding, it's not really coding, just I'm calling like that. Done. Click on manage accounting calendars. Now click on it. Okay, you can save your energy by doing this, right? You don't need to type. You can rest your hands, right? You don't need to remember. Just you have to remember starting and ending at least. Yeah, make fun with this. Click on manage accounting calendars task. Now we are in manage accounting calendars task. We already discussed. Oracle is not delivering. Oracle is not delivering any predefined calendars. Why Oracle is not delivering predefined calendars? The reason is there is adjustment period. How you want to maintain adjustment period, Oracle cannot dream for you. One client may says they don't need adjustment period. As a consultant, you may advise better you can have a adjustment period. This can be treated as best practice. In future, if required, you can use it. You may not require adjustment period now. Yes, client may listen. Few clients, they don't listen. We don't need any adjustment period, that's all. And few clients may want to have 2 adjustment periods at the end of the year. Few clients may want to have the beginning or middle or the end, etc., etc. So these all are based on the client preferences. If there is no adjustment period concept, yes, it is pretty simple. Oracle can create one accounting calendar, one for India, one for US, one for other country. And mostly in which countries this solution clients are using, accordingly they can create for each country one accounting calendar. They are not creating. Reason is there is some preference which triggers based on client interest. If Oracle is creating accounting calendar, that cannot be modified also. We discussed. Based on our preference, we cannot modify. So that is reason Oracle is giving option to us to create as per the country and the client preferences. So as a consultant, we have to create accounting calendar. It is our task. It is not business task. Okay. So in the fresh instance, if you come to this page, so this is how you see this page. No calendars you find. I just given dot and I'm searching. So with a dot, there is no calendar. That is reason it is showing no results. That's how I'm using this to discuss about it. So this is how you can see page, no calendars you find. 1 second. Seems to there is some internet connection issue. 1 second. Yeah, I think no glitch. Yeah. So this is how it is. Okay. When you come to this page, if it is a fresh instance, if your implementation project means that we call as fresh instance, you don't find any calendars. We have to create the calendar. So now the question is, how many accounting calendars we need to create? Say we are going to implement for one client for 10 countries. For 10 countries, we are going to implement Oracle applications for one client. Now, how many accounting calendars we have to create? We have to look at how many distinct financial years we have across those 10 countries. Say in 5 countries, financial year is Jan to December. In other 5 countries, April to March. Now it's very clear. We have to create only 2. Jan to December calendar is used by first 5 countries because in the 5 countries, financial year is Jan to December. The remaining 5 countries follows April to March financial year. The second calendar will be used by those many countries. Yes, one calendar can be used by multiple countries. That we will understand how to set up in the system. It's a pretty simple task. So that's how you have to understand how many accounting calendars we have to create. You are implementing for one country, one accounting calendar is enough. You are implementing for two countries, it can be two or it could be one only. Because two countries are following different financial years, two accounting calendars are required. So two countries are following the same financial year, one is enough. Okay. So this is what we have to understand. This is what we have to understand. Now, let's see how to create the accounting calendar. So click on plus icon. And let me complete the accounting calendar. Once we complete accounting calendar, I will take your questions. Till the time, please park your questions. If any questions triggers from your end, just click on plus icon. We are in accounting calendar creation page. It's a simple page. You provide few inputs, system creates accounting calendar for us. System creates accounting calendar for us. So just focus on what we are doing, what we are discussing. Don't go around this stuff. Don't start reading. I think some text is there, I should read it. What is there in this corner? What is there in the bottom? Not required. Which are required, which are important, that I'm covering. Don't worry. You don't try to discover without knowing which is important, which could be important. Don't worry, I'll take care. What is important, I'm focusing. If I'm not focusing, you don't focus on it. You'll get into mess unnecessarily. Not required. Which is not required, I don't focus. Sometimes something could be important, but not now, later. Those I don't discuss now. I will say, yes, this is a point where we come across when we are dealing with the so-and-so concept. This is how I give a hint. Yeah. Just follow the classes. Whatever I'm talking, explaining, focus on that. Whatever I'm doing, just focus on that. From your side also, please replicate the same when you are doing. Now, provide the name. Provide the name. So how you can give the name? So when we are in the project, reality, how we give the name, you may give the name as, if you are implementing for two countries has two different financial years, you may give US accounting calendar, India accounting calendar, or else simply you can create as with a company name also. Say we are implementing for ERPTREE and say ERPTREE is operating the business in two countries. But in two countries, financial years are different. Then I can create accounting calendars like this. ERPTREE. And this field, the name field, doesn't allow long name. Every field got certain limitation with the number of characters what you enter. So the name field allows only short name. Okay, here I'm not going to write the full name, like, see, I'll try to write the full name, ERPTREE accounting, that's all. It is not allowed. So that is the reason I'll go with the short name, ACC accounting CAL. That's it. So ERPTREE ACC CL. Since it's short name, go with uppercase. Okay, it's not long name where you can take accounting A capital, stuff letters are lowercase. So that you don't need to implement here. Since the name itself short name, Oracle is allowing, write with all letters with uppercase, entire string. So this is how you can do. Or else you may write the name like US ACC calendar. This is also okay. So, but generally we use the company name. Say you are creating accounting calendar for two countries. You may include like this, ERPTREE, okay, ERPTREE US calendar. Since limited characters, right, tree US cal. Yeah, this is how I can create. If I'm creating different calendars because of the different financial years, I can differentiate like this. Yeah, just try to understand the naming convention, how we are giving. Now, say we are going to implement only for US, then I no need to. So give the country name. If multiple countries, multiple financial years means I should include the name also, so that we can understand when you look at that name anywhere, not only in this page. So I'm just taking the name as ACC calendar. The name field is mandatory. You can see the star mark. It's a mandatory field. You should enter. And description field is optional. It's not mandatory to enter the data. If you want to enter, you can enter the description, which will add some meaning to the definition what you are doing, which you cannot write within the name field itself. I'm writing accounting calendar for USA operations. You are operating the business in USA, there you want to use this calendar, or else ignore it. Now we are creating accounting calendar for US, and what is the start date? What is the start date? So here, when we talk about the start date, we have to look at our financial year. The financial year starts with a Jan, ends with a December. So you have to take Jan first. Do we need to take current financial year Jan first, or past years Jan first? It all depends, okay, how client is planning. If they want to capture some sort of historical data also in the system, some past entries in the system, then we create the calendar with the past years. You may create, instead of creating with the 2025, you may create from 2023, 2024, because there are some summary of entries they want to pass. Reality, the historical data client will maintain within the previous system only. If they are moving from, say, Microsoft Dynamics to Fusion, or PeopleSoft to Fusion, or from other applications to Fusion, the transactions what they recorded, they leave there itself, and they'll bring the open balances. Okay, they'll bring the open balances. We'll be working on it. Open balances, open transactions. When we work on it, you'll understand. For now, so we don't need to worry about that point. Here, the point is whether we need to create the year from this beginning of the financial year, from the previous financial year's beginning, that when we talk to the client based on the plan, we need to decide. We may create 1 year past, 2 years past, 3 years past, or we may create from the current year beginning of the date. It all depends when we sit and talk to the client. And even we don't bring complete many prior years historical data, detailed transaction. No, just some summary of information only will bring it. So that is pretty much possible that we do. Now let's take the start date as a current financial year start date. Jan 1st. The financial year starts with Jan 1st, 2025. And here is the frequency. Typically, we use monthly only in every implementation. If they want to produce the reports quarterly, yes, they combine 3 months, and that will become quarterly results, quarterly report. That's how we can have arrangement when you are creating the reports. If you have a requirement of creating generating the reports quarterly base, there is no need of creating the periods in the accounting calendar quarterly, not required. Have a flexibility, maintain monthly, so that you will have a flexibility. You can generate the reports monthly or quarterly or half yearly or yearly. or by combining 2 periods or 4 periods or 5, 7, 9, etc., etc. If you create quarterly periods, so there is no flexibility to prepare the monthly because you are not creating monthly, right? So you are splitting very granular level, which makes sense as per business. So that is a month. So typically we create calendars with a monthly only. Even their requirements are quarterly, etc. So yes, they can generate the quarterly reports by using months, by combining 3 months put together will become quarter, right? Now the period frequency is monthly. Now here we have many frequencies. We no need to worry about it. Okay. So yearly, weekly, quarterly, monthly, and 4 weeks, 445, 454. Okay. So these are the different frequencies we have. So ideally we use monthly. Now, when you create calendar with a monthly, this is how system is going to create the period names. It will take the period prefix. From January, it will take Jan. And from year 2025, it will take suffix. So by taking the period name from period name, from month prefix it will take, from year it will take suffix. That's how it is going to create the period name for us. If you want to add something to this, that you can add by using the field called as user defined prefix. User defined prefix. By using user defined prefix, you can add some prefix to this. I want to add some XYZ. Doesn't make sense. What is the meaning of XYZ John 25? I can say ERPTREE. It is taking only limited characters. It doesn't make sense if I keep the name as ERPTREE John. Okay. So for normal periods, it doesn't make sense. When you are going to create the periods for budgeting and all, it can make sense. So normal calendar creation, even Oracle is not giving this, we don't use it. If there is some purpose to indicate every period with some prefix, then this is a provision available from this page. But generally we don't need to prefix anything. Keep standard period naming convention as a standard. Now system is taking Jan and the year, in between it is separating with icon because that is defaulting from here. The separator, okay, month and year separator is hyphen. The same it is placing here. If you want to change, you can change it. You don't want to keep any separation, select none, those will bind. You want to keep separation as a slash, select, yes, the same is reflecting. The same is reflecting. So that's how it is. To accept the default. That looks great. Now, again, how we are getting this name format, because here that format is defaulting. If you look at this, month in 3 digits, 3 characters, and year in 2 digits. That is the format Oracle is defaulting. That's how the period naming convention system is creating. If you want to change, you can change it. There are many formats available. There are many formats are available. I am taking this format. So year should come first, 4 digits, and month should come after year with a separator as icon that is there already, and month should be in the 3 characters. and I need month in only 2 characters, 2 digits here. See, 01 means John. So these are the different formats are available. So be aware of it. So this is a very standard format which generally we use whenever we create the calendar. That's how it is. We will understand once we create the calendar whether we can change the format or not, whether we can change the period frequency or not. We will understand those. Now, look at adjusting period frequency. So here we have a option how many adjustment periods you want to maintain within your accounting calendar. How many adjustment periods you want to maintain within the accounting calendar. Okay. So how many adjustment periods you want to maintain within the accounting calendar. Accordingly, you can choose the relevant value from this drop down. So by default, system is picking once at year end. Yes, this is what generally we recommend for the clients. Requirement could be twice at year end. That means end of the year, system will create 2 adjustment periods. So frequency is monthly, means 12 periods. Your adjustment period frequency is twice at year end, 12 plus 2, 14. Total system creates accounting calendar with 14 periods. And let's look at rest of options. The first one is once at beginning of year, once at end of the year. So system will create very first period as adjustment period and very last period as adjustment. In between, we can have the actual 12 periods. Once mid of the year, once at end of the year. After 6 periods, the 7th period would be one adjustment. And after 13 periods, including adjustment and actual periods, after 13 periods, the 14th period would be adjustment. Once mid-year, twice at year-end. That means one adjustment period in the mid of the year, 2 more adjustment periods at end of the year, total 15 periods, 12 standard, 3 adjustment. Once at year-end, that is a best practice, generally we use. And twice, why we are calling as best practice, you no need to do the adjustments in the mid of the year. If you have a strong reasons, you are into such kind of phenomena, yes, you may do it, ideally not required. It's just simple twice at year end. And quarterly once, if you select quarterly, after every 3 months, system creates one adjustment period. That means 12 periods plus, these are 4. So 16 periods within our calendar. 4 adjustment periods, quarterly one, 12 standard periods. And none means you are not interested to use adjustment periods. If client says, I don't need, as a consultant, it is our responsibility, our task. Why you are in the client location? To give advice, not to do whatever client will ask you. Client doesn't know about our product. Product is not known by client. We are working as a consultant. We should be expert with the product. We should be able to give the right directions and we should give proper advices which will benefit for them now and in the future also. Remember this. This is our task. This is our task. When you become consultant, you will be in the project to give advice, not to do setups. If you know how to create the calendar, that's not a great news. If you can give good advice about this calendar, how it should be, how it should not be, why it should be like that, why it should not be like that, then you are a consultant. So we selected frequency as a none. It's a clearly the warning you can see. It is recommended that you define at least one adjustment period at the end of the year to accommodate the potential adjustment entries. Do you want to continue? Okay, I'm saying yes. Still, do you want to continue? Yes. Still, I'm mad. I will continue only. So that's how it is. Okay, system also recommending. Forget about consultant. Yeah. System also recommending, we should understand that. Now, another option we have other. So apart from what you see here, if you have something in your mind about adjustment periods that you can accommodate with other, I'm selecting other. Generally, we don't use it. Since it is there, we are working on it. Number of adjustment periods. Say I need 10 adjustment periods. Cool, it will accept. Now see what will happen. I need 100 adjustment periods. It will reveal on secret. Okay, or else just let me add. I given 1000. I'm clicking on next. See the secret. You can, okay, you can enter up to 55 adjusting periods. Think through why it is taking the 55. You may create quarterly weekly periods. You may create weekly periods. For every week, you may plan to have one adjustment period. That is the reason, based on that scope, Oracle is giving max 55 adjustment periods. Generally, we don't use it. If your period frequency is weekly, for every week, if you are going to have one adjustment period, yes, you need how many weeks you have plus one or two more additional adjustment periods. By keeping that in the mind, Oracle is giving max 55 adjustment periods we can create. Just make a note. When you attend the interview, there will be people who are crazy to ask these kind of questions. Okay, it may be the case they never knew about it. They have a good amount of experience on fusion applications, but yesterday they came to know about how many maximum adjustment periods can be created in the system. That could be the reason they can ask you. So that's how it is. Just be aware, nothing to do with this. So that's how this other works. And I'm selecting one set event. This is what generally we use. I clearly mentioned, okay, don't look into certain things which we are not discussing. If required, I discuss, then you focus on it. Since you are looking at this field, I want to explain, even not required now. So budgetary control only. If you want to use the calendar, what you are creating as an accounting calendar, yes, this calendar we can use for budget purpose. Don't worry if you don't know what does it mean by budget. This is a separate concept. We will work on the budget. So same accounting calendar you can use in the budget also. So you can define budget for each period. Jan month, this much budget. Feb, this much. You can define. So if you don't want to use accounting calendar for budgeting purpose, yes, we can create separate calendar for budgeting purpose that can be used only for budgeting, that we don't use to record the transactions. When we record the transactions, we don't use budget calendar to capture the dates and periods. Budget calendar only for budget. So that's how we use it. So don't enable budgetary control only. We will see when we work on budget concept, there we enable the checkbox. So this entire data alignment will be changed. So that's how it is. Now don't worry about it. So if you are creating calendar for budgeting purpose, we enable the checkbox. Anyway, we'll create and we will understand. For now, don't touch, ignore it. Now we provided minimum inputs here. Minimum inputs. If you click on next, so period frequency is monthly, means it will create 12 periods. System knows very well. Jan period starts with which date and ends with which date. And system knows very well in 2025 year, Feb end date is what? Start date is always one. That we no need to discuss. What is end date? It knows. So every period start date is one. We no need to talk about it, but end dates are different. It could be 28 or 29 or 30 or 31st. These all Oracle programmed. Oracle written the programming within the application. So that will create periods, and for each period, start date and end date. If you click on this next tab, it will create our accounting calendar with the 12 standard periods and with one adjustment period. And it will start our accounting calendar. First Jan means it will start from Jan month. And it will follow this format. So by following all these inputs, system will create the accounting calendar. While we are creating, yes, you can see all the fields are editable. Nothing is system is defaulting. It is defaulting this based on this format, and whatever the starting date you given, whatever the period frequency you given based on the start date, period frequency, and the separator and format based on these four fields, it is, it is displaying this. You cannot change. It is deriving based on these fields. Rest all are editable since we are creating. If somebody is from EBS background, just I am giving the note. In EBS, we have to create all the periods. You have to enter Jan 2025. You have to say Jan 2025 means it starts with the 1st Jan 25. It ends with the 31st Jan 25. You have to enter in between. You have to provide the period number. The period is belongs to which quarter. It's too much of time consuming and manual task as per EBS. But in the Fusion, you no need to do any manual task when you create accounting calendar. Just provide the inputs what we see on the screen, then click on next. It will create accounting calendar automatically, and then we will understand few more points. Let's create it. After creating, I'll explain few more points. Still, if you have any questions, we will discuss. Now just click on next. You don't worry about this message. This is related to one concept. So when we work on this concept called as translation, we will discuss. Okay. Let's not discover now, which doesn't make any sense. Ignore it. When we deal with the concept, we'll focus on it. Now click on next. You see here, system created accounting calendar. And since frequency is monthly, it created 12 periods. And adjustment period frequency is once at year end, one adjustment period, means 12 periods plus one, total 13 periods. Let's review. So let's review this accounting calendar, which system automatically generated. See, the period name Jan 25. Jan 25. When this financial year ends, 2025 only. This is the first period within this financial year. The Jan is belongs to first quarter. Jan start date is Jan 1st 25. End date is Jan 31st 25. Is this period is standard period or adjustment period? You see the column which talks about adjustment period. If this period is adjustment period, this checkbox need to be enabled, not by us, by system, because we are not creating anything. Since this Jan period is standard period, not adjustment period, system is not enabling. The same way you can see Feb March also belongs to quarter one, second and third period. And when you talk about April period, it is fourth period and belongs to second quarter, right? 3 periods, total 12 periods split it into 4 quarters. In each period, each quarter 3 periods. Now April period is falling into quarter two, and you can see the dates. So this all system is deriving since Oracle written coding as a part of this calendar functionality. The same way you can review the complete information. Now look at 13th period. There should be unique number for every period. That is the reason even adjustment period also we need number. 13th period. See how system is taking the name. If you want to change this name, you can change because this is not a real name, right? Instead of 13, you can just say ADJ, right? Or else keep 13, you can understand since so December 25 is included and something else is a part of it, definitely that is adjustment period. If you want to update the name, yes, this is how you can update. And it is not belongs to fourth quarter. First of all, this is not real period. Since it is coming next to December, since December is belongs to fourth quarter, system is taking this also into fourth quarter. Another reason is if you look at the date range for this period, the date range is December 31st to December 31st. It is taking only one day. If you want to change, you can change it, but not required. This is okay. You want to change. So date range you need 25th December to 31st December. Yes, you can do that. You can notice here the checkbox is enabled, not by us, by system. So we given specification once at year end. Based on that, it is creating, it is marking, this is adjustment. If this checkbox is not enabled, system will fail to create the calendar. Reason, the date will overlap. What system will do is the date which is already used in another period cannot be used in next period or one more period. So system itself, it will fail to complete this calendar creation. But if you give the hint to the system saying that, hey, this is not a standard period. Yes, I know standard period means it should not overlap another period related date ranges or dates. Since it is adjustment period, please accept. So that's how Oracle written the programming. Means if any period is adjustment period, that period can use any other period related date range or date. So that's how they programmed. So the same checkbox is enabled since we selected accordingly. So this we can save, system will accept. That is the reason system generated it. So this is what we have to understand. Another point is the same sequence we have to follow. We cannot change it. You cannot move this adjustment period in between after some time. It is fixed. It is fixed. It's a one-time task. It cannot be changed now. So system created calendar only for 1 year, that too current year. Do we need to create the calendar every year? No. Only one calendar is enough for one country. Sometimes for multiple countries also same calendar may work if financial year is same for those countries also. Now what about the years? Calendar is same. Sorry, calendar is same. But what about the years? Within the same calendar, we can create periods for multiple years. Now 2025, we have a periods. Yes, within the same calendar, we can create Jan to December, including adjustment periods for 2026, 2027. Yes, possible. We'll see how that can be done. Now system created. Now say save and close. Click on save and close. So whatever system generated, that calendar definition we are saving. That calendar definition we are saving. Just 5 more minutes, we'll close the session. If you are bit hurry to quit because of some priorities. Done. Now we'll find out our calendar. This field is search field. This is a search field. Here is the filter. You can click on this filter. The search section is hidden. Again, click on this query by example or filter icon. Yes, search field is open. Now search for our accounting calendar. Our accounting calendar is ERPTREE ACCCL. We no need to give the full name, just I'm giving. So now there is no button to click on search. So you have to use enter key from the keyboard. Enter, just click on enter key from the keyboard, since there is no some button given within this page to search. Now, so I want to understand who created this calendar. I want to understand who created this calendar, means which user. Ideally, consultants creates the calendar, not business users, but just for our understanding. So who created this calendar? Here is view drop down. Here is view drop down. So click on about this record. Click on about this record. So what we are doing, just we are finding specific calendar which is available in the system. Yes, this is a calendar we created just now. I want to find out who created this accounting calendar. I want to find out who created this accounting calendar. To review that information, click on the drop down which is next to view and click on about this record. Now you can see we connected to the instance as a FinIMPL user. From that user, we are creating accounting calendar. The same is reflecting. Created by FinIMPL, creation date, last updated by. Nobody updated. Just we are working on creation. So same username it is showing, since no other user updated. If any other user is going to update the calendar, whatever possible. Updating means within the calendar, what can be updated. If that is updated by other user, the same username will reflect here. And when the other user updated, the date and time, this we call as a timestamp. Okay. Remember the terminology. Whatever the terminology we are using, you have to use it. Okay. So timestamp we call, right? Which user created and updated, and the timestamp when it was created, when it was updated. That information you can see here. And you cannot see directly from here, this calendar is stored in which table. Sorry. So you cannot see this accounting calendar is stored in database which table. But in EBS, before fusion, now we are working on fusion. In EBS, there is a provision, there is an option. You can see from front end. Now in the similar way, if you go to kind of about record, in EBS you can see this accounting calendar, or else within this manage accounting calendars page, whatever you create, that is being stored in which table in the back end, you can see that. But in fusion, they removed that connection. But anyway, we'll understand where we can find all the tables. We'll go through. No need to worry about it. Now, let's review our accounting calendar by opening the specific record. Just click on calendar name. See, there is a hyperlink. If you don't want to click on this hyperlink, the record, only one record we have. When we have only one record in any page, by default system select that record. We don't need to click on it to select. By default system can select. Okay, it is not mandatory. You have to click on it, then only it will get selected. Mostly system will select, since only one record we have in the page. So you may proceed directly, or else you may click on this selection, or you can click on directly on this hyperlink. It will open our accounting calendar. I don't want to click on this hyperlink. I want to select this record, or else let system select. Now click on edit. When you click on edit, don't think the purpose is you are going to edit. No, you are going to review. So click on edit icon, pencil icon. Now you see what you can edit, what you cannot edit. Name, anytime you can update. Anytime you can update the calendar name. So once you create the calendar, you cannot specify this calendar can be used for budget purpose. It's a freezed. You cannot update it. Now you cannot say, so calendar can be used by budget. No, not possible. And you cannot update the start date, and you cannot update the frequency, period frequency, and you cannot update adjusting period frequency. Okay. And you can update format. If you update the format accordingly, your period names will appear. That's it. So you can change anytime. You can update the format. Based on the format only, this name will appear. So why we are discussing each and every field, how your focus should be for that reason. Whenever you are going to create something, keep eye on this aspect. So once you create, what can be updated, what cannot be updated. You don't need to invest too much of time. Just observe. That's very, very important. That's very, very important. Think through, if something cannot be updated, why, you will get answers. Okay, if you don't get answers, you ask me in the class. Now, so by default, system is creating periods only for 1 year. So only 1 year it created. Now I need periods for next year also. So once calendar is created, and whenever you review the calendar, here you can find add year tab. If you hit add year, the current year is system created up to 2025. In the past also, we don't have any years which we created. So if you click on add year, here is the current year 2025. It will create periods for next year. That means we no need to create calendar for every year, separate calendar. Only one calendar we create. Within the same calendar, we create periods for every year. When we do the implementation, the question is, okay, the question is, how many years we have to create accounting calendar? When you create accounting calendar, how many years we have to add within the accounting calendar? Just add 2 years or 3 years. 1 year also enough, but just add one more year. When you create accounting calendar for your client, add periods for 2 years at least, or 3 years. Nothing wrong if you add multiple, but there is no need to add the periods in advance for future years. So just add 2 years, makes sense. So client may ask 1 or 2 past years also. Yes, those also will include. So forget about past years. If required, you may add, but from now, for how many years means current year and next year also you can add So in future, whenever you require, you can add the future year related periods into our calendar. Okay. 2-3 years periods are enough, but anyway, we don't need next year and next year related periods now. Just anyway, we are on the same page. Instead of revisiting this page in future, now itself we are completing the task for next year and next year also. That's it. So this is what we have to understand. So I can say I'm done from my side. I'm not going to discuss anything as a part of session. If you have any questions, please stay back and you can proceed with your questions. I'll be here to answer to your questions. I'm not going to discuss anything from my side other than answering to your questions. So we completed accounting calendar creation today. Questions, please.
Oh, why is the first period saying as Jan 26 on the right side?
Okay. Now, if I want to create the periods for next year, it should start from which period?
Starting from Jan, right? From next year.
That is the period
Oh, okay.
system is telling to this add year function. If I click on add year, this will trigger from here.
Got it.
Yeah. Now let's click it. Click on add year. See, it added. If you see here,
Mhm.
yep, it added. Now I'll say save and close.
Jan 27 it will be.
Just save and close. We can see periods for 2025 and 2026. Again, if you go and hit the add year, it will trigger and create periods for 27. Let's see that. So just click on yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Now you have periods for 25 and 26. You can filter or else select all. You'll be able to see periods for 25 and 26. We are able to see 26. If you scroll little down, we can see 25. Only we
Okay.
have periods for 2 years.
Mhm.
And for every year, the last period is adjustment. In the 2026, this is adjustment. Here also adjustment. So the adjustment period, you can change the date range, no issues. But there won't be any need. In 1 year, you'll have 1 day for adjustment. Next year, you'll have 1 week. It's not a business. It is not some different requirement. So the 1 day works. So that's how you can accept. So any questions, please?
Sir, I have a question about the timestamp we saw in the
Direct questions. See, no, don't mind. Don't take me wrong. Don't take me wrong. I'm just trying to optimize. You said I have one
the
question
timestamp.
that is
Oh, okay,
related
okay.
timestamp, right? These
Okay.
trim it. Yeah,
Yeah,
direct
because
questions.
in the timestamp it was showing a different time than the time showing on your system or something. How that time came in that timestamp?
Very good question. We can set the time zones
Oh,
because see, this instance is not physical, right? Virtual, right? This
oh, okay.
this environment where Oracle deployed virtually, we don't know in which data center. Ideally, we can say nearest data center, right? Say in India, there is no data center. Example, I'm saying. Then if I hit this instance URL, it will look for where is the nearest data center to India. It will connect to that data center. It may be other country which is next to India. So based on that, in that instance, what time zone is set, accordingly it will work. So we will see that. We will see that how to set the time zones.
Okay, sir.
We'll
Okay.
see how to set the time zone. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. We will see. how to set, we can set preferences at instance level, you can set preferences at a user level also, right? User might be working from different time zone. It should not appear something odd to that user. It should sync with the reality for that user experience. Yep. We'll see
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other question, please?
So one question. So let's say, I mean, we can close the period after a week or two as well, right? If we take an example of December period for
See,
2025.
don't mind. Now we are not working on opening or closing. When we are working on it, you shoot 100 questions. Now let's talk about what we see, what we are understanding here. There is no field called as opening or closing. We are not doing it. Yes, I respect your question. So we'll discuss when we are, there is a separate session, right? We'll have a
So, I
session
mean,
like how to open the periods, how to close the periods, and other points, what
um,
to understand and all. Now there is no
uh,
point to talk about open and close. Let's park it, please. Yeah.
no, my question is
Request.
basically on basically the question is on the adjustment period. So,
Whatever it
like,
may be, if it is related to opening or closing later, please. Yeah. Please. Next question, please.
So every module we are creating accounting calendar.
No. We create one accounting calendar we use across all the modules. Next
Suppose
question.
we are working in AP module, so we are not going to create on that. Only here GL is enough, right?
See, what I answered, one calendar we use across the modules. That is the answer. What I answered, you are answering to me saying that as a confirmation. Yes,
Okay.
I
Okay.
agree, but don't repeat the stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next question, please. Certain things we have to think from our side. We should not speak out. Yeah. Next question, please.
So as per this page which we are seeing right now, we can only edit those name, description and format for the next year if you want to, right?
Yeah. We never edit calendar. First point. Okay. Here, whatever Oracle given to edit, it will not have any impact on the calendar what we created.
Okay.
That's it. The bottom line is we no need to edit. We don't edit. Now we are on the page. You want to understand about this page a little bit more. Click on this help icon. This we discussed also. When we were in the project related page also we discussed. There will be question mark help icon. If you click on that, it will open. Now you can click on this accounting calendar. These are all related to accounting calendar. You can click and you can understand and you can read. It will take you to the help repository, separate help portal. There you can read. But my suggestion is no need to do that. Focus on this. Focus on this. What we are doing, that is enough. No need to waste your time now. So doesn't make sense. This is enough. What you are attending, this is enough. After completing all these, attending, writing the note, reading as we discussed, after practicing, when you feel comfortable with your learning, still if you have a energy, interest and passion, etc., you can jump into that help. Otherwise, that will become garbage.
Lakshman, anything significantly important about the leap year or something? I don't think there's any impact on the calendar, right? For the
Nothing,
leap year.
nothing. Just
Oh,
see, it could be anything. Oracle written the programming. Oracle already written the programming saying that which is leap year, which is not leap year.
mm.
If that is a leap year, the date system will capture accordingly for Feb. That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw the period frequencies like 445, 545. Like, what are those exactly? How we can use them?
Okay. In a month, in a month, in 1 month, say you have 4 weeks. In a quarter, take quarter. In 1 quarter, in first month, you have 4 weeks. In second month, you have again 4 weeks. But third period in the same quarter, it is spanning across 5 weeks. That is the meaning of it. Or else your first period in the quarter, it has 5 weeks. Second quarter, the second period, 4 weeks. Third also 4 weeks. It's kind of arrangement of weeks across the quarter within the periods. Okay, that's how it is. If you want to explore, just Google it. What is 445 format? Any other questions, please? Great. So no questions. Yeah.
No, I have a question on the adjustment period. I have one question. So, uh, let's say it's at the end of the year we had to have an adjustment period. So instead of using the adjustment period, can we delay the? I mean, can we use the same December period for adjustments so that we don't need to
Same
use
we discussed,
adjustment?
right? We discussed adjustment period is not mandatory. Still, you can
No.
record your adjustments in the December month only. We discussed. I repeated that point
Okay.
2-3 times.
Okay. So we
Same
can
answer.
have it, but may or may not use it. Okay.
Sorry.
So we can define the adjustment period, but it's not mandatory to use that period.
Correct. That point also we discussed, because even they are not interested. We advise better you can have in future. It may be useful, right? Or else
Okay.
they are interested. We recommend it. Or else they said okay, whatever it may be, we have. They may use it now also, right? Even they have, they may not use it.
Okay.
These all are possible.
Okay. Okay. They don't need to close it as well. They just. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
How we are going to enter the entries into adjustment period? Are we going to look at that process in future classes?
See, how you select John in the same way you select adjustment. You will see once we start working, you'll understand there is no difference.
Oh,
Just changing the period name. That's it.
yes, like same like opening, closing, and then adjusting may
Correct.
open, then entries will fall into adjustment period.
Yes. Just value would be different. Value means instead of Jan, December standard period, you will be selecting adjustment period. Rest of process same.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. See, the point is, definitely I'll take my responsibility how I should explain and all. If something is missing, you need some clarity, yes, you can ask the questions, but I don't expect somebody will be asking what is already discussed in the same session or previous sessions. If you miss any session, please go through it. That's it. And you gone through that session, you missed one session, you gone through that, you have some questions, you can ask. You are welcome. But what is discussed, we are not interested to repeat it again. Okay, that is for sure. So we don't want to waste the time, and we don't want to play there itself again and again. Yeah. So just arrangement I'm telling. Okay, arrangement I'm telling, that makes good sense. That is the reason let's adapt that approach. So what we discussed, we are not going to discuss again and again because of someone's question. Please go through. If you are following the previous classes, if you are asking any question from the past classes, that makes sense. Your question would be very valid question. You are not following and a few sessions you missed out, you could not go through the videos, and you will be asking wonderful question. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, very, very important. Yeah, these are the very basic rules. Let's set up this very basic rules so that it would be very smooth for everybody to learn in more meaningful way. Otherwise, somebody will ask some question where 99% people they don't like, because that is clearly discussed, or we had some experience, like no need to discuss that again, etc. Yeah, so that's a kind of request. Okay, please let's respect it. I'm not trying to stop somebody not to learn. Yes, I'm very much interested when you're asking the question, but how that alignment should be, I'm talking about. Yeah, that's it. So please.
So from previous session, like I saw a offering called Fusion Accounting Hub. So that is related to finance, or
It's a different offering. It's not within the finance. You might have noticed it is apart from finance, right?
yes.
So if you want to understand about this, you raise the same question in the next session. I'll explain, because we are running very late, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Even
Sure.
have some other meeting now.
Okay.
Right? I'm interested. Okay, that will add some value. Even it is not within the finance, it is connected with the finance. It's a separate game. I'll explain. You can ask me in the next session. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all for today. So we'll connect tomorrow, same time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
Yep. Thank you.